Hi, welcome to Galamar's Transformations, and today I'm talking about Kintsugi. This one's not going to be a short, this one's going to be the full reflection. So, the Kintsugi art is all about brokenness and beauty. It is in our brokenness that we become beautiful. So, it is those things that we have gone through, the things that have strengthened us, and sometimes the things that make us fragile, because that's something I've noticed with doing my Kintsugi. Some of these breaks are really hard to fix. So, first off, the reason. This is a mindful art activity, so it matters the reason why I'm doing this. A friend of mine is celebrating this week her 5-year anniversary of sobriety. So I just want to say awesome congratulations to her, because that's huge. 5 years of sobriety. So she's a really thoughtful person. Does those things, like gives you little gifts when it's actually the time to do so, and instead of weeks later like I do. But I thought, what can I do for her that would be meaningful for this anniversary? This is a kind of a complicated anniversary, right? It's a time of being broken. So that made me think right away, wabi sabi Kintsugi. Our brokenness makes us beautiful. So Kintsugi is an art of taking broken, usually ceramics, and putting them back together, rejoining them with gold, making them stronger and more beautiful. One of the fun things to do is take something that's really plain, or something that just kind of needs something, and making it interesting with this art. So I first bought a couple, like a coffee mug and things like that, at the dollar store, so I could break them and try some different adhesives. And the Elmer's glue actually worked pretty good, the regular white glue. Today I tried something else. It was actually wood glue. My husband suggested maybe that might work more. I guess wood glue is for wood, so it didn't work as well, so I went back to the white glue, which was funny because you think about it, you need the appropriate tools to do your work, to do your healing. Some of the things I noticed, first of all, I took something that I'd painted a while back, and I really like the colors. I like what it is, but it's a vase, and I'll show pictures of it. I don't want to walk back in where it is to go get a picture of it right now, so there's pictures on the site. But what I did is I thought it was boring. I've always liked it, but it wasn't finished. Wabi sabi. It's not finished, and that's okay, because now I'm trying to finish it by breaking it. So this morning I broke it with a hammer, which I think was probably not the best idea, because the first part, when I hit it, it just made a solid spot where the little end of the hammer went, and created dust. So that part is now forever broken. And it made me think of ourselves and our first wound. We're forever wounded by it, and some wounds forever change you. They're never replaced, and you'll see when we get the finished product, but there's a part of it that's missing. So I'm excited about how that's gonna show up when I'm completely done with this, for my friend. So the next thing I noticed, some of the pieces started to go together really well, and no problem. But then when I started to add other pieces, those pieces together, the unity started to fall apart. Especially the foundation. The foundation part was really, really tricky. The Band-Aids, because I used Band-Aids, some old Band-Aids, to hold it together. I thought that was both appropriate, and these Band-Aids don't stick very well when you use water. My kids, they fall off. So I thought, well, I'm not using them for much for the kids, so I'll use them for this. We'll Band-Aid this thing together. So Some of the Band-Aids were appropriate at the time, but they needed to be replaced. Like life, sometimes the Band-Aids we put into the place are appropriate at the time, but they're Band-Aids and they need to be replaced. The foundation needed more than Band-Aids. I had to hold it for a really long time. And that was significant to me too when I thought about your foundation, your core. It's in the healing process. You can't just put a Band-Aid on it. It needs to be held, it needs to be contained, it needs to be firm. And I had to hold it in a certain way. I couldn't just hold it. I couldn't just set it somewhere. I had to hold it in a certain way and support it. Support its basic structure. Support who it really was. That's pretty significant. Somebody in recovery, they need that support, and not just support for this way, support for who they are, support for their structure. I thought that was kind of cool. And then this friend of mine, she has a new husband, and they have a relationship that probably is part of this recovery, I would assume. And though I think she says they've been together, it would be during that time. So there was a big piece that kind of was part of the foundation. The vase was fine it was okay by itself. The foundation held, but when I kept putting that piece in, it took a little bit of adjustment. But it was in there fine. It was in there pretty solid and steady. And then there was this other little piece, and it had a little pink dot on it, and it was kind of sharp, and I put it in there, and it started causing problems. And then I got this other little piece that was right on top of it, and these two little twin pieces, and they were just fitting it, and the way they fit in, it was just really awkward, and it kept going, and it kept making that bottom piece fall out. And it made me think about my friend and how it might have been an adjustment for them. They were together, she and her boyfriend, and then her kids came back. There's 2 of them. And as they came in and adjusted, I kept having to readjust that bottom piece. And in fact, the bottom piece was 2 pieces put together, which I thought was cool too, because I thought, well, I bet you he was kind of broken too, and he had to be put together. So his big chunk is actually 2 pieces that are broken. He himself has his own wound, and as those 2 little pieces try to adjust themselves, as those 2 guys got into their lives and got themselves situated, his piece got broken. And I had to take it. It got really messed up. It got broken, fell off, got onto the floor. I had to take it and wash it off. So, and I realized that I had to put the smaller piece back in first. And then I tried to put that, it actually did go back in with the 2 pieces. His big piece did go in. And then there was this teeny tiny little blue shard. I have no idea what that was. This teeny tiny little blue shard, a tiny little piece of that big piece. And when I put it in, everything fell apart again. And that's how life is as we go through and you think about recovery, and it's hard, and you're putting yourself back together again, and the foundation fell apart. And it's hard because you fall down. And the cool thing is, I didn't give up. I put it back together, and I held it for longer. And this time I knew I couldn't just hold it a little bit. I had to hold and support the foundation all together. And it shows kind of like how our community, we hold those people that we know they've gone through things, or everybody's going through things. Everybody is. And we know we need to support each other and hold each other, not just for a little bit, but for a lifetime. And in fact, when I decided I'm not going to sit here right now, I need to put my energy all in other places, right? The vase is there, but I've given it support. I've taken it. I'm putting lots of glue on it. I still have many signs of the glue on my hands because I know my work's not done. I'll be going back in there and putting back the other part of the new husband. The other chunk of him is going to go back into that center piece, and I'm excited to put that back in and see how there's a couple other pieces. There's some pieces I know that are going to have a hole, so I'm thinking about how I'm going to repair that as well, because I don't want to leave it with a hole in the center even though that might be appropriate too. You think about that. I'm not sure. And that's what's neat about mindful art. I thought I was just learning how to do this so that I could do it maybe with some other people. I thought the mindfulness came before the fact, like learning about the kintsugi, thinking about the process, but going through the process, making the kintsugi, making this piece, making this vase, and thinking mindfully about who it's for, what it represents, all these pieces. It's a beautiful thing. And I hope it works. I hope at the end I'm able to give my friends something strong enough that can survive. And I hope it's something that is meaningful and mindful for us all. We are beautiful when we're broken, and we can put ourselves back together. It's not about being broken, but it's about being whole again. All right, well, thank you very much, and I hope you have a really good day or night. Bye-bye.